that. I need this. Where'd it go? There we go. All right, what's up, YouTube? Welcome. We are live. We are live. Hope everybody has a profitable day. Fantastic. More importantly, I hope everybody has a disciplined day. Hero indicator right now, of course, we're showing a couple of puts. 24,773 right now. We have liquidity up to 24,800. I'm going to maintain the same exact theory as yesterday. 945, baby. 945. High volume 3C indication. I will tell you all, I'm more likely to take a short position than any other day this week. However, I want to say that very delicately. Very delicately. Because I'm still looking to buy the dip even after a short position. And I don't want you to sit there and wait for shorts all day. I'm just saying, I'm more open to the idea today than any other day this week. However, I'm still in the buy the dip category. And I say that very cautiously. Liquidity up to 24,800. Still flying. Nothing till 945 to me. Today's OPEX IV is in the gutter. Next week has almost no catalyst. We have a little bit on Thursday and a little bit on Friday, but that is it. We have GDP and PCE, and that's it. Nothing else. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays is nothing. So, all right, 24,555 here on ES. Our NASDAQ ES is 6702. They're coming off. RTY, big old red dump. Platinum is 1406. Dow rejected a trend line, apparently. Gold's coming up to their pivot of 3690. Oil is hanging out at 62.90 there. Liquidity on the book is 24,800. That's the Mac Daddy liquidity today. They still have 24.6. 425 guy that's been on since Tuesday is no longer there. He probably just finally gave up, abandoned ship. You were talking to us. Yeah, apparently. Apparently. We had a fantastic Zoom call last night with the Tier 2 peeps. Clarified a lot of items with the 3Cs and other items. That's an interesting statement for me. Yeah. Yesterday was a good test of discipline. 100% it was. 100%. So we have a minor pivot at 734. We have overnight low way down at 654, which, you know, if we get 654, you know what I'm going to do. But I would be very surprised to see that big of a move here. Down to 654. So, yeah. So far, we're just hanging out up here at 760, 750. There's a little bottom wick back up. No shorting. No shorting. Why am I more likely to take a short today? Just because OPEC shenanigans. And I want to be very careful with my wordage. I didn't say necessarily likely. I just said I'm more open to the idea today than I am any other day this week. But I'm still in the ballpark of looking to buy the dip. Yeah, I'm more open-minded today. Yeah. If I would like your thoughts on a trade I took, should I add it to a general chat? Yeah, general chat or here, whichever. I'd ask that you wait till, you know, a little bit into the stream here when things kind of die down, where I'm not so focused on what the price action is doing here. So I could pay attention to it. All right, 748 here, still coming off so far. We're about, what, 30 points down from the open, 780 to 750. Nothing crazy. The S&P's down from 12 and 200, so it's about a 12-point move. And another bottom wick, of course. They are whipsawing this thing back and forth. I've had 4 green days this week, mostly luck. I'm considering taking a day off. I would recommend it. If you've had a good week, Fridays are typically the worst day of the week to trade, myself included. Options data right now, we have 403 million in puts, 158 million in calls. Trace indicator has all the exposure hanging out at 6645, lower bounds of 6500. Obviously, I don't expect 6500 today. That would be an incredibly large move. Still rolling off here, just a touch. Oil's not moving at the moment. Gold is flying higher. Some of the members took a beautiful 3C bounce on gold for a very profitable trade, and they're coming up to 36.92. RTY is getting wrecked right back down to the prior high level that I posted in the signals channel yesterday. ES is down 62 NASDAQ. Patience, 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 patience. Thanks, Kelly. Remind if I don't look at it, remind me after the top of the hour. We'll get to it. I can see a touch of 25,000, then we see red. Yeah, plus we're coming up on the old 66.66, which more and more people are beginning to talk about. Although it has no technical basis whatsoever, it definitely has a paranormal basis on which to discuss. 745 NASDAQ, and we're just chilling so far. Big green move. Do we get a big green move, or do we get a slide lower? Slide. So far, bottom wick. Watch them bait the shorts at 66 and blast another 200 points, probably. Want to hear something crazy? Always. On Instagram yesterday, I explained to this lady how it wouldn't surprise me if the CIA had anything to do with the events, and explained some famous CIA had negative effects on Americans. Did they really? Uh-oh. Dum dum dum. They got you, Magabagooli. If you go MIA, I'm going to come check on you. But nice knowing you, yeah. Gotta be careful with that stuff, dude. So far, they are pinning this thing to 751. They have a little liquidity down to 737, but it's very, very light. Very light. And right now, there's nothing worth even trading at the moment. So don't get caught up in a trade. We still got, at least I have, 7 minutes until my trading time. Don't get caught up in a bunch of nonsense, because what's going to happen, you're going to FOMO into a trade, get caught, get your PP slapped, and then the real move is going to happen. You're going to be like, oh, man, I should have waited. Too late. You've already blown the account. Did that drop have to do with the moo imbalance? I mean, you talking about the move at the open? It just doesn't. I mean, we had a lot of bullishness from 2 o'clock in the morning until the open. So, you know, this is just undoing some of that. And, you know, on NASDAQ, we're only talking about, what, 30 points now? So this is hardly even a drop yet. Do you think we have already put in a high for this week due to the construction of the weekly candle cap on the weekly range? It's very possible. Fridays are hit or miss. Sometimes Fridays we have like a relentless trend, and sometimes Fridays are the tightest day we've had in weeks, where it's absolutely just pin flat. So I don't know. You know, that's why I trade Fridays. Out of all 5 days, Fridays are my worst days statistically, from a very large degree, because they're usually a little bit uncertain. No one in this Discord is allowed to blow up an account today. I've spoken. That's right. I was going to take the day off and go to the dog park. Just realized it's raining. Hey, wouldn't stop David Goggins. Stay hard. Speaking of CIA, have you been watching the Dark Wolf on Prime? I have not. Nothing stopped David Goggins. That's right. I'm guessing you made the 15-minute rule with your years of first-hand experience. Under what circumstances would you take a trade? Every now and then I do take a trade in the first 15 minutes. But what do I do if that happens? I pull the risk way back. So my normal position size is 2 up to 4 minis, anywhere in that ballpark, 3 to 5 sometimes on ES. So when I'm taking the first 15 minutes, I don't go any more than 1. I take 1 contract to see if I can play some of the action. If on ABKR, I may take 2, but that's about it. Simply because the manipulation phase is the first 15 minutes. But it's got to fit a certain criteria on which I want to take that risk of gambling, quote unquote, because the first 15 minutes is a heavy gamble. Let's call a spade here. And if we have an incredibly bullish price action and we have a little too much too fast, or an incredibly red pre-market, which doesn't really happen anymore, playing the bounce at the open. This is a very tight range so far. Nothing to trade. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Tilt indicator is 65% short right now. I just wanted to say I found my first triple C trade yesterday. Nice. Well done, Forrest. I love it. The market's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, but you know what you were going to get because you played the 3 C's. Fantastic. Keep it up. My name's Forrest Gump. Hey, big bounce. There you go, baby. 4X Gump. I love it. Man, look at that bounce-a-roni. Look at that bounce-a-roni. Wish I would have played it. Up to 780 coming up. Very quick move right to the top of the range to smoke the shorts. Very weak showing by the bears. And then the bulls cram it down their throats. Gold gave us a great trade this morning. They did. Yeah, they did. Just passed my first prop account on Apex. Do you recommend the monthly or lifetime fee? It seems like the lifetime fee would be a no-brainer. I do recommend the lifetime fee. If you're going to be on Apex, I would go ahead and do the lifetime fee. And then, of course, your goal is to keep it open for the entire month and take out some money. Man, they just smoked that green candle. Jeez. See what happens when you start chasing stuff today? Do not chase this price action, baby. Scott stopped out for 8 points. Beautiful. I'm done for the day on that bounce. Base hit. Nice D-Master. Well done. 773. We have liquidity up to 800. We are now 2.5 minutes away from 945, at which I'm going to take a trade if I see a setup. Liquidity pull is another 25 points on NASDAQ. They just tried to sweep the high of 782, and they tipped it back down. I'm going to change my screen to the charts here. If I can do it. There we go. All right, 778. Quad witching MM dealers own the tape. They do own the tape. Yep, they own more tape than painters. That was terrible. 67.15. I bought heavy shares to lead for weeks and months on that morning dip. It had me worried for a minute. That was terrible. The tape store. Yeah. Well, you bought shares and that 5-point dip scared you? Is that what you mean? You thought Shakespeare was dead. He's alive and well, my son. Alive and well. Triple witching is today, yep. And I don't mean Halloween. One more big jump above the high of the day. Looking likely. What are they going to do? Someone joked yesterday to me that it would be funny if the market dropped by 20%. Well, I mean, that could happen. It could happen. But just don't be a jabroni, you know? That's funny. Yeah, definitely, Farmer. Yeah. If the market drops 20%, TLT is going to 120. Heck yeah, baby. Heck yeah. Options right now. Man, look at all that. You just saw all the liquidity roll off the books. See that? Everything just rolled off. There was a tremendous amount of liquidity, or exposure, I'm sorry, at 66.50. All gone. All gone. Right now, it's neck and neck, calls and puts. We're in call sold category and a puts purchased category. 67.02 heavy. Oh, look at that. They just put 1,000 orders here at 67.02. That's beautiful. My time, I'm not young. 66.99. They're about to bounce this thing and head. I would probably say they're going to absorb that 67.02. That's a beautiful little pivot area. So, see if we can get that absorption into it. A little bit of a bottom wick forming. Right through that area. Let's see. We are now in my time frame here, so what can we do? What can we do? Grab that little 6,700 here. Come along. $7.49. What's NASDAQ liquidity got right here? So NASDAQ is smack dab in the middle of the range. They are trying to hold that 800. They have or 750. They've got that liquidity up at 800. Right here. And that candle is fluttering like crazy. But what can they do? Right here, go to that 800. Grab that 70, what, 67.02 or so. There's a beautiful bottom wick. If they can get that candle, we might be able to grab the 800. Maybe. They're building it. Trying to. Big call wall at 660? Yeah. I did the mirror trick you were talking about a couple of days ago. Something clicked in my puny brain. Did it really? Does it work? Is that something I need to copyright? I'm sure someone out there, some motivational speakers already came up with that idea, but beautiful, beautiful bottom wick heading up to 800. Fantastic. There's not a lot of good 3C stuff here, man. You could speculate and opine on a little move here, but there is nothing good 3C here. There's no volume. We're very wicky. So, what trick is that? I said if you're having discipline problems, you take a mirror, small little like makeup mirror or something like that, and you put it on your desk right in front of your face. You have to look at yourself in the eye. You could see your emotions. You could see when you're stressed out. You could see when you've made a mistake, when the color drains from your face, when you realize you're about to get bamboozled. That would scare me to death. I'd be like, man, this is what my wife has to look at every day. I don't know how she does it. What if NASDAQ gets a 705? Is that a yes, sir? It is. So if we go down to 705, which is the overnight low area or that overnight pivot area, I would look for it. And then more so if we go down to 654, 100% I'll be looking for a 3C. However, right... Oh! Sorry, I didn't mean to yell in your ear. What the crap? Sweet sassy molassie. Wow. What the crap was that? 793 to 800. Just absorbed the crap at 800 levels. Wow. High volume, obviously. High volume on that one. Crazy stuff, dude. So they touched that upper bound of liquidity at 800, and they put on a high volume spike. So keep an eye on this candle. Keep an eye on this candle. Let's see what the options chain did on that. 300 million in calls, 123 million in sold puts. First breach up. Massive explosion of price action, of course. Beautiful stuff, dude. Beautiful stuff. So if this is going to be a high volume 3C indication for a short, if they are going to pivot this, then we need to start getting under 785 or so. Otherwise, it's gonna continue to go. It's going to continue to go. But bookmap, in terms of bookmap, that was the top side liquidity, 800. That was all we had, right there. So glad I'm not playing this today. Heck yeah. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. What was that? I don't know. I don't know. There's such a light order book up here. There ain't nothing up here. Nothing up here. It's just weird. So we just filled the top side, which is 800. And we had the highest volume spike of the day right there. So we came up and blasted 800. Immediate volume spike. And of course, right now we're seeing some very minor top wicks. Nothing crazy. So we might have an opportunity for a 3C, but we need the commensurate price action to kind of give us something up here. They're about to take out 825 or so? It could be, if it goes down, it could be something covering before a move. Maybe. Maybe. Hard to expect a short, a lot of main stocks breaking higher. Well, you know, I'm not expecting anything. It's all about the 3Cs. What do we have at the 3Cs? We have obviously some sort of order flow or some sort of craziness that just occurred with a high volume there on the 5-minute, but it's not holding any kind of top wicks. The 1 minute is sliding higher, although it's shaking. The 5-minute is straight bullish. So again, I can't recommend any short positions until you get a high 3C indication, which right now we do not. We do not. Yesterday's high? Yeah. There it is. We just tapped yesterday's high. Yeah. So, and so far, instant bottom wick. Instant bottom, or top wick, sorry. $800, baby. 800. Where's SPX at? SPX just hit 66.52, which is where all that liquidity was. Now, the liquidity is not there, well, unless they put it back on. Let me check. No, it's not on there. So 66.50 was the biggest amount of exposure on the option chain right there, and they took it off for OPEX, obviously, and it's not back on, and that's where we are right now. But they just tapped yesterday's high, and we had a nice little 10-point rejection on NASDAQ right there. But there's no high volume on the 1 minute. There's no high volume on the 1 minute. So, sweeping top wick, though. Sweeping top wick. This could be interesting if they give it to us. It could be interesting if they give it to us. It could be interesting if they give it to us. Five-minute. Man, my thing is laggy. Laggy. $803. What are they going to do here? What's VIX doing? VIX is holding 1557. RTY is falling, so the small caps are not performing. The Dow is holding smack dab in the middle. NASDAQ is 807 right now and still climbing. ES is 6709 and still climbing. XLF is the weaker one. Well, everything is nice and green right now. All of X's are nice and green. NASDAQ is still holding 810 here, just chilling. NVIDIA is up to 176. Apple is of course underperforming everything like it always does. Microsoft is nice and green. Amazon is up. Meta is coming down hard. Google is doing the same. So yeah. Patience. Patience. The best thing we can hope for is a beautiful range day. That's what I would love. A beautiful range day. Can we get it all the way back down to the range? Right now, it's just so freaking wicky that, I don't know. Terrible price action. Terrible price action. XLF at the moment, just been lagging, yeah. 1 minute. The laggy thing is never good, yeah. Oh man, is Tesla in a 3C? Let's take a look. Tesla, not today's session. They have a couple of 1 minute stuff there, but not much. So, nice little top wick forming. $789, $793. $750 is the next liquidity here, if they give us the move. But yeah, that's asking a lot. It's asking a lot. They're holding this lower bound right here. 788. ES is hanging out. What, 6707? ES is starting to trickle a little bit. Starting to trickle just a touch. Oh, man. There it is, yeah. I mean, shenanigans are afoot. If gold can get through, yeah, gold's flying up here. They're quickly moving up to 37.05. Silver's down. NASDAQ is putting on a 15-minute top wick, a pretty aggressive 15-minute top wick. So we do have a technical 3C short opportunity for NASDAQ on the 5-minute. Trade at your own risk, though. Highest volume candle of the day. Nice sweeping top wick. Close over to the prior high. Well, not close over yet, but we're about to get the close under the prior high unless they wick the crap out of this in the next 40 seconds. But that is a technical 3C short opportunity right there. Trade at your own risk, though. It's this Friday. Five for 5 profitable trades this week. Nice, Samuel. I love it. Thanks for the coverage. Wrapping up. Well done, buddy. Very welcome. Still sliding lower right here. We have 102 million in puts sold, but they are buying them back. And they have 367 million of calls purchased, but they're selling those back. But very, very slow, very, very choppy price action. Struggling with opening candle. Yeah. No juice. No juice. Oh, man. Anybody have anything that I'm missing? Right now, I don't see much. The tilt indicator is 56% long on Top Step. Nothing. Gold's like, see ya. It got volume and possible top wick gold. Let's see. I need volume to load. Yeah, we do. Let's see what they want to do. NASDAQ is holding 791. Oil. Big dump candle on oil. Look at that. Maybe look at 62.54 for oil for a possible change up there. 15 looks very bullish. Yeah, so maybe nothing here wants me to short this. The bulls are holding on to this way too much for me to want to short it. So again, I still maintain the thesis of you need to be looking for buy the dip opportunities until it's so obvious that they're going to dump it that you have no other choice except to try to short it. But right now, I just don't see a lot of argument for shorting. It's just every single attempt by the bears is bottom backed up. So until this thing decides to start taking some Mylanta or XLAX, it ain't going nowhere. I ain't gonna dump. Gold is starting to move lower. 3C indication on oil. On gold. 3C indication on gold. If you want to short something, that may be your opportunity right now. First pullback after a new high. True. Do you ever play the 5-minute or 15-minute opening range breakout and retest? No. So I don't really track the 15-minute range. I've toyed with it. It didn't help me out. Not to say it's not useful. So again, I'm not a big quick scalper. I'm not looking for 10 plays a day. I'm looking for one or two. So the hourly range works really well for me. I toyed with the 15-minute and it just didn't scratch that itch. Speaking of which, where's my boy Futures at? Haven't seen him this week. There he is. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Hey, puppy. What range would the VIX need to be in to be confident of a short? I don't really track VIX ranges. I track the movement of the VIX. What's the VIX doing? Beautiful move on gold. Right now, the VIX is going up, straight up. It's going green. Now, down in this area, that doesn't really mean much. You can't correlate that to a bearish move on the indexes in this environment. The VIX is bottomed out. It can't go any lower, at least not much lower. So you're going to have a lot of green VIX, green indexes at the same time. So you know, for me, if we start to get the VIX into the 17s, I would probably say we're looking for a possible downside opportunity, but everything up until then is a little bit uncertain. He full ported bought an island, lives at 10. If that's the case, I'm going to up his OnlyFans fees. Gold, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. 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 How far else is it going to, how far down? Now, in a day like today where gold is severely bullish, I would not try to stretch your pants and try to get it all the way down to like 36.70, 36.80. Take what you can get and just roll your trailing stops, of course. But that's a fantastic initiation of a move. I love it. What's up, Joshua? Yeah, it's a little slow right now. This is some atrocious price action. Do not get FOMO on any of this. This is terrible. Terrible. The first 3 days of next week are going to be a little bit non-standard. So the kids are going on a 3-day cabin camping thing, and me and the missus are chaperones for the event. So what I'm going to do is we got an Airbnb for 3 days with high-speed internet, so I'm bringing my laptop and my gear. I'm going to stream the mornings, and the afternoons I'm going to be completely MIA. So I'm not going to be involved in chatting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the afternoons. But I'll be back to standard operations on Thursday. Just FYI. I have the FOMO, but I have discipline sitting on my hands as watching, using the big brain. That's right, man. We got to chill. So, when you're dealing with trading on Fridays, especially movement like this, the problem when the market is like this is that when you're wrong, you don't have a lot of other opportunities to make it right or quote unquote get it back. Although I hate that thinking anyway. So you're usually end up, eating crow until Monday afternoon or Monday morning, Sunday night. And it's terrible to put on a terrible trade on Friday and get wrecked, and now you have to sit on it for the next 2 days. So especially today on Fridays, relax, chill. And just maybe try to wait for one good trade. Expect way less. We're not trying to make $10,000 today. Try to make $100 today on one trade, and that's it. I've blown more accounts than I can count trying to get it back. Yep, there is no getting it back. There's no such thing as getting it back. When you take a loss, that money is gone, period. You play these mental gymnastics with yourself. It's like, oh, well, I was at 7,000 balance now then. I'm at 2,000 balance now. I got to get that $2,000 back because I got to get back. No, it's like, no, it's gone. Forget about it. The only decision to make is the next high quality setup. Period. That was a low volume top tick on the 1 minute. We had no high volume spike there. We had a little volume on the 10 o'clock candle, and now they just rolled this thing over 20 points on no volume. So gold still holding nicely. NASDAQ just dumped. Even when you get it back, you just think of how green you would have been without the losing trade. Exactly. You are absolutely correct. We play these mental gymnastics with ourselves where always, the answer in our brain always, it's not enough. Always. You make 30 grand, I could have made 35. I lost 2 grand, I could have made 5. It's always mental gymnastics. Don't do it. Y'all know me, man. I don't like chasing the first candle breakout out of a tight price action, especially when it's not supported by volume. So that to me sounds like shenanigans. What's the updated symbol for gold? What is it? Gold futures right now. You can look at it right here. September is uniform. October is Victor. November's X-ray, December's Zulu. TradingView right now is using Zulu. By the way, if you're looking at TradingView and in your watch list, you've got the exclamation indicator, which is the forward contract. If you look at the actual ticker beside the price action right here, it'll say which one it's using. Right now, you see right here, like this box right here, it's using Zulu. All right, Mr. Magoo. I don't know why everyone just doesn't roll them over. Some people don't like rolling. Some people like trading certain expirations. What's up, Matthew? How you doing, buddy? Good morning. Standard operating procedures, baby. SOPs. See that? They bounce it right back up. If you chase those quick breakdowns out of nowhere, you're going to get wrecked. So what I like to do is just when I see those candles, I wait to see if I can get a good entry, a better entry. Chasing that stuff never works out. It's been a great week. Always appreciate it. Nice, Ben. Absolutely, buddy. Have a fantastic weekend, buddy. Stay away from the charts. Enjoy your time away. My Fridays have been tough with gibberish price action. I lowered my position size, entered the long on that pullback. Waiting to be taken out, or the rip. Nice. So you entered on that little rollover, Krish? I like it. Well done. Well done. So with this environment, don't let it go below your entry, and give it a chance to get over 805, and then you might be able to grab 820. Remember, reduce your expectations today. You're not going to get a 200-point move today. Maybe in power hour if they decide to do something crazy, but I doubt it. Reduce your expectations. 20 points on NASDAQ trade today is fantastic. It's fantastic. Ooh. RTY. RTY is below the prior session high. NASDAQ is coming all the way back up, baby. Bum, 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 bum. This price action's rough. Yeah, it is. Which is why I'm sitting there chilling. They did put on 24,712 liquidity, but they also put on 825. So it's very, very light book, and they're straddling the price with liquidity here. ES has 66.95, and then 67.40 is the biggest dog on the park here. So that'd be 36 points. There's zero indication here, so that means that from a 3C perspective, you need to be doing nothing right now. If you are a true 3C believer, right now the 3Cs are saying don't do anything. At least from my perspective. I have to mute. I'll be right back. All right. Gold still ripping lower, baby. That's the only 3C indication we've had today, at least a good one, was gold, and it's ripping lower. Ripping and a tearing. Watch oil as it comes into their session high of 62.92. NASDAQ is still holding 782. Ooh, they just stacked 24,900. Are you serious? Kennedy, where you at, buddy? Where you at, buddy? Profit target hit, closing down in the long run. Nice. Well done. The Wild Women. You saw that video too? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 24772. Man, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. What is that? Oh, no way. Give me skew. EA Sports. It's in the game. Give me a 3C long and let me ride it up to 950 into the afternoon. That would be absolutely extraordinary. Y'all see that liquidity? That is ominous, to say the least. Ominous. Ominous, baby. Ominous. Have to hit 712 first. That would be great. But that skew higher is interesting. It's interesting. Been playing a bit of New World in the evenings. What's that? What's that game about? Blow off top today. You know, I don't know. I mean, they're putting liquidity on lower too, so I'm not gonna play to that. And I will be likely. I mean, of course, I'm going to take a 3C bounce indication. If I see 3C long, I'm going to take it. But right now, I'm not going to start playing to that until I see the signs that it's going to happen. I'll start playing that if we take out the morning high. If we bounce and take out the morning high, I'll start looking for a possible crazy move higher. The thing about these OPEC days, these quarterly expirations and the monthly expirations, is that they're hit or miss. Sometimes we'll get an absolute dead flat day, and sometimes we'll get a crazy 120 point move on ES in the last hour. So it's one of those days where you want to pay attention into the after, at least the power hour area. Don't make any erroneous entries. What about ES? 6740 just came on the book. Interesting. Is that enough to follow the meme to move, or simply target to pay attention? I would just keep an eye on it. I am not going to play to it. So what I'm going to do with that liquidity hanging up there, because it's on ES and NASDAQ, is I'm going to see if we get a 3C. I'm not doing any shorting, so I'll let this go however low it's going to go. I'm going to wait for a 3C move, and I'll look for an entry on 3Cs. And then I'm going to track the morning high. If we take out the morning high, then, and only then, will I even consider playing up to 900. Because that's a big ask on a day like today. So I'm not going to get all bulled up and try to, stretch my legs to hit that until we get the morning high. First things first, though, we need a 3C long. First thing is first. I need a good sweeping hammer candle to get us going. Like that. Like that. Hold it. Let's see. 1 minute. Let's go to the 5. What do we got? I'm going to take that off. $50 fib right there. Coming from years in ESO, it's hitting the edge, but I'm just after a kid asleep, gamer Tad. Oh, okay. We're back to Red Dead. I can't run on my charts going, but it's more fun with friends. Nice. Never played the second one. I played the first one, what, 12, 13 years ago, 14 years ago? Never played the second one. Still going, baby. Still going. All right. That's a 1 minute 3C indication. Can we get the morning high? That's our first goal here. Get the morning high. That's the morning high right there. That's still a big ask. You know, that's still 40, 50 points up. So, like I said, we're not going to get all excited like we did yesterday. We're just gonna relax. Take some pictures. There we go. There's a 780. Can we get... There we go. 781. There we go. What's the best game to play on iPhone? There's a beautiful game called Trade-Evate. For some reason, I can't stop looking at it. It's a fantastic game. All right, 784. Now we're starting to come along here. This is our possible move here. Again, I'm not even going to focus on 900, 950 until we can get the morning high, period. I'm going to ride this baby up. 900 morning high is where we're going. 5 minute top wick on SPY. I don't see it. Let's go take a look. ES. I see a high volume bottom wick. I don't see a top wick on SPY. Let me take a look. Yeah, I don't see a high volume top wick on SPY. My Sitka jacket's being delivered today. No, you got it. You got it, John. I got you, Jonathan. Is gold 3Cs? We have volume there, but no top wick, and we closed higher, so. Did you save your 40%? I did save my 40%. I wouldn't buy that crap if I didn't have 40% off. I'm cheap, dude. I'm cheap. Our grandfathers used to hunt deer in flannel and jeans. Like, you don't need, you know, all this crazy camouflage pattern. So, am I long? Yes, I am. So, I only bought it because it's 40% off. I have a pair of On Clouds I bought like 4 years ago. Still wear them. If I buy something of value, I use it until literally it's unusable anymore. We have a little absorption at 782. We just need to be very patient. Let's see if we can get the morning high. Again, not getting excited. Nothing's happening yet. We just need the morning high first. 950 would be more than extra. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't like quick candles like that. Just breach it, baby. Breach it. Don't top wick it. What do you think, Kennedy? Is Kennedy here? I haven't seen him. Here's his trend line. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Morning high. A lot of people around here rent out their land in town, or towners for hunting. It's a big business. Yeah, I thought about doing that. It's just, it doesn't pay very much. Trend line touch. This is going to be it for me today. Once I close this down, I'm done. Once this trade closes, I'm done. Come on, baby. Give me the high. Give me the high. Not a single pullback on this move yet. Here comes 800. Now we're going for the morning high. Let's go. Let's go. So where are my eyes right now? You ask me all the time about position management. Where are my eyes right now? Right here. Right here. If I see a volume spike, the stop loss goes tight. Below the neck here. Hey, my eyes are up here. I have to tell that to the wife all the time. It's like, hey, why eyes are up here? Right now, I'm using stop at 785 because we broke out prior structure, went higher. Now I'm going to use that structure as support. If you want to be a little more aggressive, I would put it down 778, 780. But so far, I mean, there's absolutely no lower lows here. It's riding this up nicely. Very fortunate bounce given the environment. I mean, heck, this is nearing the same quantity of win as yesterday. Not there yet, but it's getting there. And if this goes to the morning high, this will be a better trade than yesterday, which is surprising. Oh, doesn't look like it. They heard me. They're going to bounce it, though. Watch, they'll bounce it. Yep, they got me. It's all right. I was going to say, why did you jinx that? that's the way they do it, man. No, they'll bounce the crap out of this, and then they'll go. Be like, that's what they did yesterday, too. So. Shakeout candles. Immediate blast higher. Look at that. Right off of it. What a bunch of crap. What a bunch of crap. Let's see, where am I at here? I am approaching. I need to check the Top Step leaderboards. I haven't looked at that stuff, but I got to be getting close. I got to be getting close. The fifth criteria is to enter after Webm stops out. You're probably freaking right. You're probably right. Where's Futures at? Is Futures here? No, he already locked out, didn't he? Yeah. He's gone. That was a stop run right there. And the rejection off the stupid trend lines, which are ridiculous. OpenAI is considering making hardware like glasses and a voice recorder. Great, that's what we need. Every single person in the United States recording everything at once. They're making us be Big Brother. Why put security cameras on the roads when we become the security cameras? This price action is making me dizzy. Yeah. These pretzels are making me thirsty. Not only do we become the security cameras, but we get to pay to do it. Yep. I'll call that a good stop out. I'll call that a good stop out. I don't mind. That was a good trade. I'm going to have a good weekend. Oh man, we are smack dab in the middle of the morning range, literally. Right now, the option chain is bullish. It's actually quite bullish. Top step short is 65% short. This top step's tilt. They're always short, man. How is that even possible? Are retail traders really like this? I'm telling you, 80% of the time I've looked at this thing the past 48 hours, it's been short. Like, have you seen the freaking charts? What is wrong with y'all? They should call that the jabroni indicator. There's no way that thing is accurate. They think the market going up so long can only be bet on a short dip for easy money. I don't see how that's easy money. Shorting this stuff over and over again, you're getting like you're either gonna get wrecked or you're gonna make peanuts with a whole bunch of stress. No thanks, man. I prefer no thanks. I prefer life. Seinfeld, nice. Yeah, buddy. Y'all want to see a weapon that I'm going to try to get Mrs. Owen to let me buy, except for the 50 BMG that I'm really trying to get her to let me buy? Tell me that that thing is not freaking beautiful. Unless you're top ticking every top wick and making 20 to 30 points. Yeah. No thanks, man. Top steps line, so people follow that. So I've heard that before. Is that even like their streams? They're taking terrible plays just so they could blow accounts. Oh my gosh, Dan. Oh my gosh. What is it? I'll show you on. It's this right here. Tell me that ain't freaking beautiful. TTI, there's a TTI Glock. They're the company that makes the weapons for John Wick, the John Wick movie. It's beautiful. I would go with their 2011s, but they're exorbitantly expensive, like $8,000 or $9,000. I just can't bring myself to spend $9,000 on a 9mm. If I'm spending that kind of money, I'm buying a 50 cal. Have you ever went hunting in the woods and it was creepy? Every single morning, yeah. If you go deer hunting when it's pitch black in the woods and you don't get creeped out, then you're a psychopath. Then you are the monster. And I probably don't want you in my woods. Yeah, it looks fantastic, Nova. Ruger RMX, yeah. Then again, the Canix TTIs, they're fantastic. So TTI created a Canic, and it's like $1,100. And yeah, it's still a Canic, but I mean, heck, man, it's literally 25% of the price of that. Terran Tactical is always where you train before you use John Wick. Oh, very cool. I've been meaning to ask, what did TPT do with the other account you had that went over the limit for the one trading day? Did they combine it with the other live account? They did. So what they do with that, when you hit that $10,000 a day on a pro account, they take 5 of it and they transfer it to a live, and the other 5 you have to withdraw. So exactly, McGabagoodly. Exactly. You fire them at the range. I've never actually, held and shot Kinex, but I'm very tempted to look at one. Can you give an update on OL? Yeah, I can give an update on OL. Let's take a look. If you're short, fantastic. High 3, I mean, that's a 3C short if I've ever seen one right there. High volume, wrecked. Fantastic. I mean, that's as clean of a 3C as you get. So I would play it to 62.58 and just trail the stop on it. Give it enough to let it eat. Look at the stupid trend line that it followed. Look at that. I feel like I'm getting in too late and leaving a lot of gains on the table. I recognize the volume and bottom wick candle, but I always wait candle or two on the 1 minute and actually confirm it's going up and get nervous. Well, it all depends on the circumstance. Today, it's very difficult to catch very large gains because things are just back and forth. So today, that's okay. Now, if you're leaving games on the table on 300-point moves, and then we need to have a little bit better discussion on the system. So it depends on a couple of different things. Obviously your bias, your how you're looking at the charts. If you're viewing the charts through a very bearish lens, it's going to be difficult for you to get into a long early enough. It's difficult. Whereas if you are bullish looking for buy the dips, you're going to get in earlier than someone who's got a bearish bias. It's just how your eyes are going to see things. So with that said, I'm looking for high volume inflows on bottom wicks, and that's why I'm getting in earlier, and that's why I'm not taking any shorts, because I'm focusing on one side of the tape. Today we had a high volume bottom wick. It's the highest volume candle we've had in about 20 minutes at the time. They climbed over the prior high, and then they launched it. So at that point, remember, in my mind, I think everything is probability. So if I'm watching this chart, in my mind, the way I think about it is what I'm telling myself is low probability of a bounce, low probability of a bounce, low probability, lower probability, higher probability, high probability, decent probability of a bounce. I may want to play it. I put on a position, I set my stop, I take my hands off. And from there, all that happens is either I'm wrong, we come down and stop out, or I'm right. And if I'm right, the question is, how loose do I play it so I could give it a chance to get the complete V, the big move? I may stop out for 10 points. I may stop out for 200 points. But that's the whole process, is I'm thinking, where's it most likely to bounce? And that kind of thinking gets me out of FOMO. It gets me out of chasing. In that case, high volume bottom wick, I'm going to give it a chance to at least come back up, and especially with the data on Bookmap. There you go. What's so special about TTI? I mean, obviously it looks fantastic, but the mill work is exceptional. The rails, their slides, everything is milled down to spec. It's just very high quality machine stuff. The triggers are very light, very crisp. Is it worth $5,000? Probably not. I wouldn't say that. I mean, when you boil it all down, it's still a Glock that you can pick up off the shelf for $400. Still coming down. Yeah, the TTI logo, definitely. The guy that bought 7 figures of meta calls got smoked. Yeah. I'll take it, but the incoming volume spooked me out. That's all right. Hey, it's still a fantastic trade, man. It's wild how the mine works. Eval 150,000 TPT I've passed in 1 week. Pro account 150 just chipping away with 2 to 3 micros. Well, because you bring in the risk. Your risk tolerance for evals is much, much higher than real, I guess, quote unquote, real money with pro accounts. In all honesty, though, I don't think, and going forward in anyone, I don't think anyone needs a 150K account. I think 75 or 100K accounts are much better. Not to mention, think about down the road, if something happens where you have to fail the account, it's very, very expensive to reset the 150 account on the Pro. But it's not too bad to reset the 750, or the 750, assuming that you're taking payouts, of course. So all it's doing is giving you the ability to trade more minis, which y'all do not need to be doing that anyway. I've been using overextended tick reading for assist on long entries and short work the last few weeks. Nice. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up, All Sports? How you doing, buddy? Fantastic. I've had the highest return on prop firms ever in the month of September. Just to go show you the 3 C's. It's the highest amount of money I've ever made on prop firms in the month of September, and I'm only 19 days in. It's been an absolutely insane month. What's up, Kit? How you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. All right, we have a volume spike there, but they're plummeting this thing lower. And after that test, where are they going to go with it? Come on, baby. Having a good year this year. Absolutely. Well done, buddy. Well done. All right, 747 creeping lower here. Creeping lower. They're going to go for morning low. Haven't touched a short. Not touching a short. Not looking to touch a short. I'm only looking to buy the dip. Are you saying the 75 and 100K accounts are the best to have? I am saying that, yes. $743 still dropping. Honestly, a 50K account is fine for most people who have no reason to run 6, yeah. The problem is, with TPT, with the trailing drawdown, it's very difficult to manage the smaller accounts. I mean, one small mistake, unless you're truly trading 1 or 2 micros at the most. So I just get a little bit big of a buffer. But yeah, you're probably right. All right, coming off. Red candles. Here's a test of the morning low. All the way down, baby. High volume bottom wick right there. Now what are they going to do? Touch the morning low and bounce a Roni with cheese. Beautiful bounce. Beautiful, beautiful bounce. Beautiful bounce. Fan-freaking-tastic, man. Amazing. This is starting to get a little ridiculous. Wow. Wow. I did. This is starting to get a little ridiculous. All right, there's a nice little bounce right off of it. Morning low. We may get a range day, maybe. Second trade of the day. Wow. I've been trading cash the entire time, just recently gotten into prop firms. I think I'm hooked. Just be careful. Prop firms are a fantastic tool, but just be careful. High volume 3C move. Oh, man. Man. Perhaps I'll join the YouTube streamers now more often. Beautiful. I'd love to see you back. I'd love to see you back. Hope you're doing well and feeling better. He said this is getting ridiculous. I'm in that groove, man. You know, when in your trading system, you're going to go through periods where you feel like that you're a magician, you can't miss, and then you go through periods where you're a complete fumbling fool and you can't put on a green trade to save your life. Right now, I'm in the magician phase. Everything I touch turns to gold, but I know what's coming after that. So you got to keep level-headed. You got to keep level-headed. $7.54. Oh, man. All right, so they're holding the morning low right here. We have a nice little high volume bottom wick, but it's got to hold, of course. The hope would be we go to the morning high, right? I mean, obviously that's the hope. But what are the options doing here? We have 91 million in calls sold. We have 746 million in puts so far. And they just launched a green candle all the way up. And with that right there, I just hit my all-time balance on Top Step for one single account. Wow. Wow. Just for the month of September in 19 days. Wow. Wow. What was the candle? I don't know what that was. And I did it without shorting, too. That's the big takeaway. No shorting whatsoever. No shorting whatsoever. I just gave you my daily goal. Nice, E-dub. Let's look at the news feed. The U.S. House passes the stopgap funding. No, that was 15 minutes ago. That's not now. There ain't nothing in the news for me. Just the high 3C bottom wick, baby. High 3C bottom wicks. That's all that was. So, where was my stop? I had my stop at 7:30. There was no claim of the higher highs, so now obviously, right now, but until that candle, fantastic. Oh, man. Did I actually get off the 1 minute? The 1 and the 5. 1 and the 5. So there's the 5 minute right there. So for me, remember, I've got the 1 minute up and the 5 minute chart up at the exact same time. I'm looking at two different charts, and they're both, one's the 5, one's the 1. And I'm watching both of them. Trade breakdown in the video? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I need to do another one, don't I? Rig count's coming at noon. Beautiful. 50% of the overnight range? I love it, dude. I need you. You're going to be my Fibonacci guy. Kennedy's my trendline guy. Mojo's my tick guy. You got to be my Fibonacci guy. If you were to have a 50K TPT account, would you only trade the 1 minute? How would you go about portion sizing? If I'm trading a 50K account, I would say 5 to 10 mini or micros. 5 to 10 micros at the most. Trade in that ballpark. Let's see what they do with this candle right here, baby. Might have been, I don't know. I don't think that, I don't know. All I care about is the high 3C volume. Volume comes into support and it bounces. What happens after that, I can't control, maybe. I think the dude I follow on Twitter might have gotten removed. He used to post a lot of Bloomberg stuff, but I missed that dude. No longer frequent post on live posts. Yeah. Interesting. Isn't TPT only a max of 6 contracts? I honestly don't know what the 50K account. I'd have to look. Relentless bull trend in the market. No shorting, explain. Absolutely no shorting, period. So back in June, I made a alteration to my system to say no shorting. 0. I don't care if NASDAQ falls 300 points in one session. No shorting. Only look to buy the dip. I've had the best month on prop firms in history. My win rate is still 90% every day. And it's the lowest, and more importantly than the profits, my stress is the lowest it's ever been. I literally come into the market with absolute zen-like peace because I'm chilling, and I'll sit here and do nothing until I see a high volume 3C bottom wick, and I take it. And my stats say that right now, what's my current win rate after yesterday's loss? My current win rate is 88.7%. So I have an 88.7% chance that I'm going to be correct. I set my stop, take my hands off, and let it do its thing. All I'm waiting for is a high volume bottom wick on the 1, correlated on the 5, 15-minute for longer term trades, and that's it. No shorting. The emotional stress relief that you would get just from not shorting is worth its weight in gold. Stop shorting the market. No more scalp shorts, no more puts, no more nothing. No more nothing. I've said it every day, and I still have to listen to y'all. Oh, I took a short position. Oh, I just made 7 points. I just blew my account shorting. You bunch of jabronis. Oh, thanks. What do you want? What's up? All right, I am locked out. My top step is locked out officially. So I'm not making the same mistake I did yesterday. What makes Top Step the best prop is that you use the lockout feature. Highly encourage it. I think that's another measure of my success, is that I made a hard rule: no more prop firm trading after 10 o'clock unless we have a planned event, and that is drastically improved. Is the OMTPT code still active? Yes, it is. If you want to be, I haven't pushed it, and I'm not here to push down an affiliate code down your throat. If you want to use it, it's definitely active. TPT gets you 40% off plus a free funded account once you pass. The code is OMTPT. That's Oscar Mike Tango Papa Tango. Did you scale to the point where that candle was enough for TP for you? I trade two minis. No, I mean I'm trading a funded account on Top Step, and I was right. I was just under. I was a couple of $1,000s under a point that I've never seen before on a single account on monetary, and that candle got it, hit it. Ooh, that smell. Emotional damage. Oh man. Since there's a lot of discussion on discipline and such, I revenge traded to a stupid loss on Tuesday. What I had to say is enough. I was struggling with searching for a trade, but every little bump in volume type thing. My best breakthrough aha moment. I only take a 3C when pushing to highs lows. I've seen several in the middle and stayed away. My trade count is way down. I do listen to them, just brain gets me sometimes, and I wanted to share this with you while still red on the week. Last 3 days have been and hopefully continues to be so much better. Keep it up, baby. You're doing fantastic. You're doing fantastic. You've righted the ship. You've got 3 good days in a row. It's all about just taking it easy, and just trusting your system. Stop shorting high volume 3C bounces. That's all you got to do. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you all too. I keep saying that. The day is going to come where they are going to put on a macro sell day, and it's going to smoke a lot of people trying to buy the dip, myself included. So just be prepared for that. And I don't want to hear any crap, oh, you should have been shorting. Bite me. We are drastically green now since June, and I'm going to continue to buy the dip until I get slapped. I'm going to stop out, and then I'm going to zoom out, figure out the selling climax, and then we're going to start shorting. Ooh, that smell. You said Top Step is the best. Did you mean TPT or did you mean Top Step? In my opinion, the two best prop firms out there are Top Step and TPT. And both for different reasons. Both for different reasons. I've been critical of Top Step in the past a lot, but I still think that they're the best, if not one of the best. TakeProfitTrader, in my opinion, if they remove the trailing drawdown, they would be the best. Can't you smell that smell? Have you tried Bulanox? I have not. Find the green on a day every day this week if you guys like me and don't want to stop trading on a very good day. Set a rule for yourself. My trading is to give it back 25% of my highest point that I'm done. Beautiful. Here's another emotional management. And I don't mean to sit here and toot my horn, but yesterday I posted my loss. I continued to trade after 10 o'clock, and I got smacked, and I lost. What did I do after I took a loss? Did I sit here in revenge trade and try to get it back? Did I sit here and freak out and throw stuff? No. The second that I saw the loss happen, I held myself accountable and I locked out the account instantly. The second the trade closed, I said, screw this. I locked out my account with a red day. And now what happens today? Not only did I quote unquote make it back, but 4 times the amount I lost. So my thought process is don't be the jabroni that tries to get it back. Just red days are happening. I've told you this story a long time ago. I had a guy that spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on prop firms, and he's never once had a red day. Never. But he's blown millions of accounts. Why is that? Because what he means is that he's never been able to close a session with a red day and just move on. It's always either you have a fantastic green day or you blow the account. There is no in between with them. And I don't know if that's you, if you're hearing that. If that is you, you need to stop it. Because yes, it's fun when you take 50 trades and you happen to have 50 green trades, but it's terrible when you blow account, reset, blow account, reset, blow account, reset, blow account, reset. So learn to have red days. Green days are fun. Everyone talks about those, but learn to have a red day. That is not completely destructive. The trailing drawdown stops at the break-even point. Yes. Stop it. Get some help. That's right. Which is easier to pass an eval? The reason why I consider Top Step the gold standard because there's no trailing drawdown. It's competitively priced. I don't think they're overpriced for what they offer. Their trading system is pretty much reliable, and they offer there's a lot of risk mitigation like tools like lockouts. Top Step or TPT, they're a little bit more difficult to pass because they have the trailing drawdown. But the kicker is they don't have any consistency rules on payout on funded accounts, and I mean obviously you get a free funded account now with the code, but there's no consistency rules, so you don't have to make it like $200 in a day. You can take daily payouts. So once you put in the work to grind your balance up to be a break even, where now the account turns to a static drawdown, now you could take payouts every single day. $100, $10,000, $5, it doesn't matter. You could take payouts every single day. And that's my opinion why it makes it amazing. All you have to do though is you have to keep things very slow until you pass the buffer. And then you can take money out every day. I can't tell you as I'm mentioning numbers, but as the day went on, I would have better if I just took loss and not give everything back. Yeah, most of the period, most of the times, yeah. Just learn to take a red day and lock the account. Do you recommend your older videos for learning that? I would say the videos of the last 2.5 years is what I recommend. The market is not the same as it was in 2020 when we started, 2021. A monkey could have made money in 2021. Smashing buttons on the keyboard. I have talked with management at TPT. I was like, hey man, if you remove the trailing drawdown, your sales will explode. Like 1 million people will sign up because of your daily payouts. And they said that's exactly why. Like we have to have a catch because the trailing drawdown, like if the daily payouts will wipe them out. So it's a business thing. They're all businesses. It's why they do everything that they do, because they're businesses. They've got to be able to way to control the people that are going to happen to put on 15 minis at the very bottom of a CPI move and catch 200 points on NASDAQ and wipe them out. YouTube. Yeah, website's fantastic. Got on tilt before. Last time was a couple months ago. Blew my fund at TPT when I paid the reset fee. I blew it 2 days later. Took some weeks off. Back at it. Doing well. There you go. I've never done a prop. Still just use my personal. If you have enough capital to trade your personal, I would not even try props unless you just want to give it a shot and see if you can raise more capital. Kind of want to try it, but I'm too lazy to learn some new system. Well, it's not really a new system. You just have to understand that it's a game. Prop firms are, it's a game. Who can withstand the drawdown the best? Who can adhere to their system the best? Because if I'm trading my IBKR, I could put on 4 minis and hold it through a 40-point drawdown until it eventually bounces and comes back green. You can't do that with prop firms unless you've got a very large drawdown, which not many people do. So it's a game where you have to manage not only your emotions and everything else, but you've got to manage the rules too. And as long as you can understand that the first 2-3 weeks of your funded account needs to not be about payouts, it needs to be about building, then you'll be just fine. Just take it slow, build a buffer, and then you start to size up a little bit and treat it like a normal account. So my top step right now, it's not even a prop firm to me. It's the balance is high enough now where I could treat it exactly like I do my IBKR. And that's the goal. That's the goal. How much is enough capital? That's up to you. Depends on what you like to trade. If you want to trade NASDAQ minis, you're going to need $200,000, $300,000. If you want to trade micros on ES, you need what, 15, 20 grand to do it consistently? Maybe a little less depending on the, how much you're trading and how many contracts you want to trade. There are some brokerages out there that allow you to trade a mini with $500, which I think is nuts, but, to each his own. I don't know if you answered. I had to step away. But how long should I expect a TPT account to transfer over? I emailed them again today because I have 3 accounts that are now outstanding to give away, and they haven't responded to any one of them. Usually they do it within an hour, so I emailed them again this morning, and I hope to hear back from them today. I'll let you know. You're not supposed to do anything on your end. Unfortunately, we just got to wait for them to transfer it. Not on you, bro. Not on you. When it is transferred, it'll show up in your credit. So if you go into your TPT and you go over to credits on the drop-down box, it'll show up there. I got a big drawdown straddling red folder event. Problem is now I have to make a lot to get a payout. That is slow and steady, man. Slow and steady. This is right at the morning low here. We have 997 million of puts. We have 100 million in calls. So the options chain is very bearish right now. We had a beautiful 3C bottom wick off the morning low. These are those areas where I say I can guarantee you they're going to react to these levels when they get to them. I just don't know for how long or how much. That's the level I played, the high 3C bounce at 734. Now they've tested it a third time. Most likely they're going to shift on down. TPT account giveaway. I don't have any more accounts in my credit bank. I have to email them, say if they'll give me more accounts, and I'll give them away. I gave away, 6 accounts and all the 150s I had too. I am long NASDAQ and down. At what point would you cut loose? If they close, to me, once they take out the morning low and close it, I don't want to be long anymore. That's a bearish indication. But again, I don't really know. So looking at this, we've got this little downward channel that they're creating. We're through the morning low, which is not good for long positions, especially with a high 3C bottom wick that happened at 740. Once you take that out, that's broken structure at this point. So I would probably with this move, I could gun for overnight low, which is 655. So anytime a price action trends below the morning low, after the morning low is set, which it is, that is an indication for a continued downward trend into the afternoon. I believe I owe the server a TPT 50K account since rate cuts were this week. Really? Well, I'll let you decide. What did you say that I'll give away an account if they cut rates? OM is the Oprah and giveaways. I try to give away as much as I can. I'll stick with 1K with SPY, doing my best to keep $50 a day within 3Cs. No negative days this week. Beautiful, man. I love it. I love it. There's a lot of people that are having extraordinary success this week. So, how long did you switch from mainly options to futures? I've been back and forth. I go back. It depends on the environment. In volatile environments, I rely on options. Back in, let me think. When did I go? When did I go to Vail? I went to Vail the second week of March. So that week, that month in February, I was doing all options because I remember sitting in my laptop trading options. So February and March, I was heavily trading options because the volatility was there to support the moves. If I'm going to take a risk, I want the options because that's going to pay. Whereas in tighter environments, I don't even want to touch options, and I want to focus on futures. So it really depends on the environment. Right now, it's 95% futures. So I love this server. You guys are hilarious. My wife will pop in all the time and ask me what's so funny about trading. Like-minded individuals, baby. I love it. It's more than just trading. It's community. So I appreciate you. If we switch to options, you got to come up with a different version of 3Cs I can grasp. Why? Same thing. The system's going to be the same. It's just the mechanism, the vehicle on which you look to trade. Do you have your eyes on any stocks for intraday or swing option plays? If I'm being honest, I do not right now. However, next week we're going to start doing all the planning for swing trading positioning. I do think that we are going to face a retracement. If not next week, it's going to be, we have the quarter end coming up here, which the going into quarter ends is some of my favorite times to trade. So I want to be ready for it. All right, Damon, have a good weekend, buddy. You been shorting Cracker Barrel? Easy money. Nice. Nice. I said a bounce around with cheese the other day to my wife when she's explaining a trade. Oh, I love it. I was like, you got to be there. You just got to be there. I got to figure out how to stay in these gold trends while still using a stop. All right, well, let's take a look. Wow, look at that. Where was your original entry? You were in at 36.83. Okay. Well, look, let's take a look at this, and I'll make some comments on my thoughts. if you are a short-term trader, which is what we're primarily doing here, swing trading, none of this should have got you out. If you're scalping, using the trailing stop system we talk about, these red candles should not stop you out. You should remain in those candles. It's very difficult to stay in a long position with that kind of drawdown against the position. Most people, including myself, are probably going to get stopped out on that move, so don't sweat it. So, most of the time that's going to happen. You're going to get stopped out before, but the goal is 1 or 2, 3 times a quarter, you catch the entire move. But it's not easy, and all the stars have to align for that to occur. You need luck on your side. You need bias on your side. You need a solid mindset. You need a great entry. Everything's got to go your way. But in order to do that, you have to apply your strategy consistently over the long haul. If you're constantly shifting strategies and bias and thesis, you're never going to be able to catch a big trend. Everything has to be consistent. So, and you've got to get price action that doesn't give you a significant pullback, because that's going to be a very difficult trade to stay in with that kind of pullback. I mean, you're talking about it's swept 80% of the range. So don't sweat it. And remember, you can always re-enter if need be. Oil's coming on down. High volume 3C indication. Possibility. Overnight lows right here at 62.54. On the 5-minute too. Another day with consistent emotional control. I love it. Well done. Well done. Man. So Japan's population is collapsing. They're saying by 2118 it could be almost completely collapsed. Wow. Three losing trades today because I went full Leroy Jenkins against my process, reinventing the wheel. I'll be sitting in the corner contemplating what I've done listening. Nice. Well, take notes on what you did wrong, of course. Do all that stuff. Back test. And make sure that whatever mistakes you made today, you learn from. You're welcome, Tofu. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. All right. Well, we're about 5 minutes away. I'm going to call that a day. All my props are already locked out. My IBKR is still open, but I might pop my head back in for a power hour just to see if we get a crazy OPEX move, but other than that, I'm done. I'm done. Nice, Dan. Oh my gosh. These crazy green pops saved me today. I'm taking a red day, but minimal to stay in the game. There you go. Just stick to the high volume. Stick to the 3 Cs. Check out the volume on the ES in the 5-minute candle. Yeah, I'm watching NASDAQ 5-minute. That was a high volume spike. So that is now 2 high volume spikes into the 735 area. What's the thoughts on ETH on the 15-minute? ETH. 15-minute. I mean, that's a high volume bottom wick there. We are coming on down to 44.32, which is an obvious support. I mean, this thing has bounced there twice in the past week, and that was a support resistance flip. So that 44.25 is going to be decent support there. Have a good weekend, Stephen. All right, your account, Kyle. Your account should be in your the eval should be in your account. I'm going to DM you the instructions. There we go. Oil's putting on the 3C. Fantastic. The ES 1120 Eastern high volume candle that fell quick. How bearish is that? The 1120. You talking about this one right here? I mean, it's still pretty tight price action. They're just absorbing down to the bottom, but it obviously doesn't want to bounce. So if that's going to happen, then demand either more aggressive action or more aggressive volume. But right now, it's just not wanting to bounce. But again, it's very light volume relatively. The price action is incredibly slow. So you've got to be able to find buyers if you want to buy the dip. Is this a good time to buy TLT for long term? Yes, it is. Buy it up and don't stop buying it up. And hold it for 2 years. Options prices are awful. Yeah, it's just incredibly tight price action. Incredibly slow. Time to spend some time with my youngest son. Yeah, definitely do that. Families first, baby. Hope he gets to feeling better. Ah, crap. It's weird. I still wonder how the high-speed traders buy algorithms computers. That close above the previous close is a lifesaver. It is. It is a lifesaver. So, look at that, baby. Man. What are your thoughts on the ups I've been adding for my long term? UPS? That's so weird you just asked that. I was watching a video of UPS driving to my driveway. Weirdo. Long term. I'm always a fan of adding UPS long term. Always a fan. Obviously, it's not doing well because the economy is in a deep recession, although no one really seems to know or care. At least no one worth voting for. They are coming down. We're down to April 2020 lows, and after that, we're going to come down to coronavirus lows of 38. At which point, if we touch 38, I may liquidate my entire SPY holding and put it in UPS. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But it's been on a steady downtrend. But, consumerism drops off in recessions, and UPS is directly correlated to consumerism. So, all right, y'all, I got to call that a day. I'm not taking another trade today. Like I said, my prop firms are completely locked out, every account, so I'm not doing what I did yesterday. I'm going to leave my IBKR up on my brokerage, and I'm going to peek in at or around power hour to see if we have any OPEC shenanigans. Other than that, I am done for the day. I'm not touching anything until power hour, so I recommend you do the same thing. So, I believe so it is, Dave, yeah. What was that headline? I don't know. I didn't see any headlines. I just saw volume, so... Y'all have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back bright and early Monday morning. Sunday night, we'll do our weekly brief for our Tier 2 people. And keep an eye on that liquidity on Bookmap. So y'all have a fantastic weekend. I'm out. See you.